Welcome back, folks. What's good? And hello and welcome. We're here at the desk for set number 2. We started off with Orbit, and we saw a nice little split, nice little change of pace. And of course, just a reminder, this is Group A. We've got 4 groups in total, and all these teams will fight to make their way to Super Regionals. And that, of course, is the second step along the way to hi-rez Expo, Smite World Championship. Get an exclusive 25% off if you type Group A. Gotta add that dash, though. Group-A. Use the code at hi-rezexpo.com. Get yourself some tickets. These teams here hoping they don't have to buy the tickets, but will get there on merit alone.
Right now, we're going to see Elevate versus Sanguine. We saw Orbit earlier on against Dignitas, and we should see a lot of action between these two teams because they were at the bottom coming into this, but Sanguine, they've been playing a lot stronger than what their record indicated.
And, you know, not just that, coming out from Sanguine has been playing stronger, but Elevate also. I think Elevate came into this land sort of expecting to play a certain way. And yesterday, I think we saw a little bit more light in the tunnel than a lot of people expected.
Yeah, I think what's going to be really interesting for Elevate coming in today is that yesterday was really their day to take for the first day LAN jitters. You know, all new players, they never had a LAN experience before. So I think that did have a bit of a factor into their sets yesterday, but today I'm really expecting Elevate to honestly step it up, especially in this set against Sanguine, because they don't want to be the only team without any points on the board, and I think they're ready to get in there. Completely
agree, and really, most of these teams, both of these teams, honestly, revolve around the mid lane specifically. TheDarkDodo here, coming out for the guys on Sanguine. He's going to be here in that mid lane. The lone Italian in the SPL, repping his country all the way from Rome, and he has been a driving force. Here you see him on the horizon, really a big part of what Sanguine has been able to do.
And that was the first game. The second game yesterday, we saw him on the Raw against Dignitas, just making some really important clutch snipes, and specifically the composition that Sanguine run is very heavy sustain, heavy kind of protection.
And he'll be going head-to-head against nulisa. She's a rookie this time around. We saw her, and we saw glimpses of her greatness in the Combine earlier on in the season, and very quickly she ascended all the way to the Pro League. Here she is repping Elevate, trying to bring home the win.
nulisa, first actual girl to ever play competitive. I think that she brings an interesting flavor to her team, if anything. She seems really consistent, and I think that she's going to do well.
She's always had this potential to be a pro player, but she's never really found that way in. But now that she has, I think she's got good stuff to come.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people had some things to say about nulisa, but we're going to cut that one short. We'll bring that to you a little bit later. So why don't I just ask you guys here at the desk? I mean, nulisa, like I said, from Combine to competition, it's been like that. Just a handful of months, not even, and now she's ready to perform. What's your take? We heard you a little bit, but expand on that. What's your take?
I'll try not to put this one in slow motion, but I think nulisa, honestly, is a really strong mid laner, even though I know people like to make the whole haha girls in the SPL kind of joke. I don't think she really lets any of that get to her, to be honest. She's always been really consistent. I've seen her even before she tried to enter competitive gameplay. She was always regarded as a really highly skilled player, and she was able to play and hang with like the top ranking players at the time, and it's carried over, I think, for the most part into the SPL. I think that first LAN jitters did take a small part in yesterday, but I'm really ready to see her come out like bopping people on the head.
Well, she was playing with players like Anhur and adapting before in the past, so she's learned very quickly about the necessary role in mid to play competitively with your jungler, always being pairing in hands in the jungle, making the plays necessary.
What I've always liked about nulisa is now she's in the spotlight and everybody's talking about her and this, that, or a third. But before, she was a substitute for Epsilon. She's always, back when they won the World Championship, she's always been in the minds of high-level players as one of these capable players and one of the people that can hang with the best of them no matter what. And honestly, for me personally, Combine and even before that, I've always fallen in love with her Chronos. She has a very passive-aggressive style. Chronos is known as an all-in, gotta be in their face, but she has a way to, when it accelerates up, she's gonna go ahead and in, but I like the way she plays those the spells and kind of hangs back a little bit as well. You see that in the Janus play, you see that in the Vulcan play that she brings. A lot of dynamic characters come to that mid lane for Elevate specifically with nulisa in tow, and as we said, they'll be going up against Sanguine, and Elevate will be looking for their first points of the weekend.
We'll see if they're going to adapt to Sanguine's strategy. We've seen them yesterday against Dignitas, how they love this heavy sustained composition. So we'll see if they're going to elect to do targeted bans, maybe the Khepri ban, maybe the Ra ban to take it away from Dodo.
I think for the most part, Elevate's definitely going to be expecting Sanguine, especially if they see that Odin man coming out from Sanguine. They're going to know that they're probably trying to run that healer composition again. And if Elevate did their homework like they've been saying they did this morning, I'm pretty sure they're going to be fully prepared for that.
Very excited to see how these two teams go head-to-head. A lot of different options, and you can see, I think last time around, we were watching the first match when we saw Orbit and Dignitas go head-to-head. These teams had clear ideas of what they wanted to do, how they wanted to go up against the opposition. Elevate and Sanguine, I think there's a lot in the air. You can see the bans being thought about right now, everything just sort of ticking away. Little different situation versus our first match.
Yeah, I feel like there's a bit of hesitation probably coming out on the side of Elevate because you're not really certain what Sanguine are going to try and push into you, because you could see in their set against Orbit, Sanguine was trying to opt more for that early aggressive playstyle. But then against Dig, you know, they went like a complete 180, went straight to that passive healer. We're going to draw out every single team fight to try and make you work for it.
And that's one of the interesting things about Sanguine and Elevate specifically, is that these guys are the new kids on the block, especially comparatively speaking to the aforementioned teams. Orbit, as Kevin mentioned earlier, these guys have been playing together since 2012, at least the core, right? And then you look at Team Dignitas, the whole Shadow Nightmare and Frostiak and that unit, those guys have been playing together for, again, multiple splits, years even at this point, honestly. Elevate and Sanguine, I mean, you've got 3 Myrmidons meeting Jiffy, the 4chan warrior, and nulisa here first split. Sanguine is sort of the leftovers of the leftovers, and then they're joining up with Murrdurr. These guys are new compositions, new teams. You really don't know what to expect.
You never know between the rookies versus few veterans, between Cherryo and Murrdurr specifically. So you have to be able to play your own game. And Sanguine has definitely been able to show that they could play their own game. Elevate specifically, though, they've been trying to adapt to the other team's playstyle more than trying to go for their own style. They've been denied the Janus a couple times before for nulisa, only being able to play that one time around. And I expect them to try to get off the ball rolling between WorldEdit and nulisa as quickly as possible.
That's really what we've seen Elevate succeed off of, is you've got this core of, like I said, the 3 Frenchmen from the Myrmidons, MoGoW, and then the dual lane, Dardez and Jermain. But nulisa and WorldEdit have really been able to come together and make sort of a subunit themselves, and that's important. The whole jungle mid synergy is definitely something that drives the game right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be crucial for nulisa and WorldEdit to really work together in this set, because Sanguine kind of already have that synergy factor going head-to-head. Like, Dodo is a pretty experienced player, and, you know, he got that SPL tasting with Team Dignitas in that previous split, and not to mention the fact that, like, Cherryo in general is just amazing performances on LAN. And I think that's really going to be something for really WorldEdit to step it up to Cherryo's level if he doesn't want to lose control of the game.
You know, we didn't really get a chance to see Cherryo's perform the way we've spoken about him yesterday. I think if some of the newer fans might be a little bit confused. Totally, why don't you bring us back and talk to us about why Cherryo is so highly regarded amongst players?
Well, back in the time machine, in the super regional days, Cherryo played a lot of Naja. But specifically, he's known for other styles, trying to synergize with the mid laner. So they'll run a lot of Vulcan combinations with that jungle. Whatever Cherryo is going to pick, you can expect a lot of bursts coming out of Dodo. So it's all about that mid-jungle synergy.
And that's certainly what Team Elevate's going to lean on as well. We've seen a lot of the Ao Kuang, specifically for WorldEdit, and it's interesting. Most players look at the 1-2 punch of the Naja into the Vulcan or things like that. Team Elevate kind of do it in the reverse style, where nulisa will be the one to set up for WorldEdit, and I think it works out well.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, going to really fall onto Cherryo here, and I feel like Sanguine, more than anything, are going to want to relay all of their picks pretty much off of whatever Cherryo's thinking about playing. And I feel like for Sanguine, they're not going to want to let that jungle pick come out until they at least see the first 2-3 picks from Elevate, because that would give it the best playstyle for them.
And Cherryo's been playing on hard mode this whole time. He's been playing from Egypt at about 150 or higher ping. His frames are not the best right now. So whenever he does come to LAN, he's playing at a whole new level. And this gives Sanguine that kind of boost and strength that they really need. So Elevate, they have to really worry about any sort of mechanical gods that Cherryo might be picking.
Yeah, I'll never forget the first time we saw Cherryo on LAN, because we were watching them play throughout the season, and at that point in time, I mean, nobody really we knew he was from Egypt, but we didn't know the full extent of like lag issues or whatnot. And I was watching him during the regular season. I said, you know, something about this guy. I like the way he sets up his plays, this, that, or third. And everyone was kind of lukewarm on him. And then he came. He was playing with a team called London Conspiracy at the time, which was a middle of the pack squad, and he just blew everybody away. And everybody here at LAN went, whoa, what's happening? And he just very casually said, well, you know, I'm used to about 200 ping. And everybody just said, wait, what? You can't do that. So watching him play here on the 0 ping, his game number 1 was on the Hun Batz. Likes to sort of warm up because it's so drastic, right? But now once he's used to it, it's going to change things up a bit. We struggled a little bit, but we're getting the game underway. Raijin and Odin, the first bans. I know you were talking about healers for Elevate. Odin not going to be there.
Yeah, I'm sure Elevate probably recognized this right away, the Odin ban coming out. So I'm not sure whether or not they have a strat lined up for that in particular, but I mean, I would say for the viewers, they could definitely expect that tanky healer comp trying to come out of Sanguine right now. And I think it was actually a really wise decision by Elevate to go ahead and ban out that Terra, ban out that Raijin. Raijin in particular, because that takes away a lot of the setup factor from Cherryo and Dodo. And so Dodo's not going to have such an easy burst god to play off of Cherryo with.
Sanguine right now, they're banning these anti-healer compositions. They want to be able to try to maybe get Guan Yu, maybe get Raw specifically, but Elevate, they don't really care about banning away either of those gods or picking that away. Instead, they're going to lock in the Fafnir, trying to get a lot of synergy in their team fights.
And I think the Fafnir is a good choice here, not just the team fights, but also the lanes. We've spoken a lot about Team Elevate's dual lane, Dardez and Jermain. Fafnir is certainly going to go ahead and fit in that idea. Athena and Isis, the choice for Sanguine across the way.
You know, what I would really like to see out of WorldEdit here on Elevate is a Serket pick. Because you can tell that they're really trying to go... I mean, they already have the Isis, like you said. They already have the Athena. He's hovering Batz. All right. I would really like to see a Serket, I think, because it's clear that they want that healer. They want that sustained comp, and I think Serket would have been a good counter factor for that.
I think the Hun Batz here was also to take that option away from Cherryo. We've seen him run it before. He's very comfortable with it previously, yesterday specifically. So you want to take that option away from him. Even though Serket would have been really nice to negate the healing option from Isis, it's more also about denying the enemy opposition's comfortability.
Absolutely. And you know what it comes down to? I 100% see where you're coming from with the Serket. I actually very much agree with you. Hun Batz, on the other hand, while he's not going to negate the healing the way the Serket will, he's going to negate the coordination. Once that Fear No Evil comes down, it's going to just make sure that Sanguine can't be grouped up for an Isis heal or any other heals they have in mind. And I mean, at the end of the day, maybe Elevate will be in a position where they have to defend a Phoenix 1v3. Who knows?
You know what else I just realized is I'm pretty sure Elevate, this is actually the first time that Sanguine's actually been given that Athena option. Yesterday, in both sets that Sanguine played, it was actually stripped away from them in the picks and ban stage alone. So I'm really curious to see what they're planning on doing with Athena. I'm fairly confident it's going to be going to Cherryo in the jungle, actually.
I agree.
And so Elevate might have been expecting that in advance, you know, with the letting that go through into the Hun Batz pick. So maybe that's probably the reason behind it. But for the most part, I do like Sanguine's comp already. Like, the setup alone with the Isis is just going to be pretty potent.
I'm a big fan of it as well. You've got the Bacchus for if there is, you've got, like we said, we've got the Hunter role and then the solo lane. If there is going to be some sort of burst, Anhur is going to bring it out of the ultimate. Bacchus can set that up, but the Athena and the Isis, ain't nobody going to die with an Athena ult on them in a circle of protection. So that's going to work out really, really strong. Team Elevate across the way, they get the Janus for nulisa, one of her just quintessential gods, and then the Rama going across the way next to the Fafnir as well. Very strong choices for the individuals on Team Elevate. I think they've drafted this lineup according to what the players want to play, what they're going to feel comfortable on. And for a team that doesn't have any wins on land just yet, I think that's a good choice.
It's all about the mobility for both teams right now. You have Janus for Elevate on nulisa, and then you have Amaterasu in solo lane for Nika. So I expect a lot of repositioning in these mid to late game team fights.
I think what'll be really fun to watch as well will be that duo lane. I think the viewers should definitely pay attention to that duo lane, because knowing Jermain and knowing Arkkyl and their playstyles, they love being aggressive. They love getting up in each other's faces. So it'll be something to look out for.
Real quick, one-word answers. Elevate versus Sanguine. Who takes a taco?
Elevate.
How about you?
Sanguine.
Oh, we're split down the middle. You know who's going to do it? It's going to be the Oompa Loompas. It's Adonis and Hindu Man. Bring us to us and bring us the game.
Does that make you Willy Wonka, F. If so, well, we'll see if you've got a chocolate factory.
Willy Wonka is pretty creepy.
He's already got a chip factory. He's wanted a chocolate
I gotta
factory
be honest,
as well now?
Willy Wonka is actually a really creepy man if you actually think about it. But this game is going to be pretty exciting here. I'm
look
looking
at
at this
Duo.
Athena. I'm looking at this Athena. We've seen it banned. It's really important.
Cherryo's done this all the time, though.
It's been a while, though.
It's true.
And it was banned away the first 4 games they played yesterday. This time, now open for them. I'm really excited to see what Cherryo does with this, because we saw what he brought with the Cabrakan. It was kind of that same style, very frontline oriented, but on the Cabrakan, especially when he went to Sunder, it was about the 100-0 burst.
It's true.
Now, Athena, it's more about the setup than it is you doing the damage.
I mean, Cherryo said to me yesterday after the games, he said, I love playing the Guardians in the jungle now. It just fits my playstyle and the team's playstyle a lot better. Me being able to engage for the team, initiate, and also be able to stand there and take a bit of damage.
That's one of the biggest strengths of Cherryo as a player is this kid will literally play anything if he thinks it'll help his team win. There's a lot of players that are like, I only want to play carry-style hunters, or I only want to play heavy CC Guardians. This guy will play anything in the jungle. If you need a hardcore assassin, he can play the Alquangs. He can play a Hunbats if you need a disruptor. He can play setup if you want an Athena, or the burst and kind of frontline takiness of a Cabrakan. Naja sets up too. This guy is so dynamic, and I'm really excited to see how he plays this Athena
Now, I
out.
brought up duo lane for the simple fact Arkkyl is back on the Anhur we saw yesterday, who had a fantastic performance. And not only that, you've got Jermain on that Rama, and 2 hunters that are not scared, sorry, 2 supports, I should say, that are also not scared of a fight at all.
I hope one of these guys has the fireworks emote, because that's what's going to happen in this dual lane. Arkkyl took a 1 versus 2 against Suntouch and Big Man Tings. Comes out on top. He got the solo kill against Suntouch. He did fall in return, but it doesn't matter. It shows that he has the gall to go up, and he knows and trusts in his own skill and ability, and that's exactly what Jermain is known for all the time.
But I guess both these hunters and supports need to be very careful of the junglers. They can both make an impact in this game as this one goes on. WorldEdit's getting very low on that buff on the right-hand side there. He took a lot more poke than he should have. Had to
I think
pop
he was
a health
tanking it.
potion a little bit earlier.
I think he was tanking it instead of the Erlang Shen, not something you typically see. You'll kind of want to trade back and forth, make sure your jungle is healthy by the time they rotate back in. But mid camps are going to be split right now. Sanguine getting control of the fire elementals, all to be expected. Very dangerous to fight into an Isis early game. You also do have a hard CC from Athena, depending on what she levels. Gone for the dash and the shield wall just yet, but
And
should have the
CC.
taunt soon.
You mentioned CC, and that's what Cherryo has. His Spirit Ball connects after the taunt came out there from Cherryo in the mid lane on WorldEdit early on.
All game. You're going to see that all game. The taunts into the shield wall, straight into the Spirit Balls and Wing Guts, just non-stop. It's really going to be a poke game for this mid-jungle of Sanguine.
And Nika's going to be a little bit careful on this Amaterasu up against an Erlang Shen early game. He's taken a lot of free poke there. As we tune him in the dual lane, you can see both meditates have already been used in the dual lane as well, which shows that as we expected, a lot of aggression.
When we saw Orbit take on Elevate, it was very much the same. It was all poke all the time. Burn your potions to get lane control. All you want to do is just pressure opponents out. It opens up opportunities for ganks and rotations and jungle invades.
Leap a little bit late there from Arkkyl. Unfortunately, he couldn't continue the damage onto Jermain. In the mid lane, you did see Cherryo and TheDarkDodo invade the back harpies of Elevate, but in response, WorldEdit's going to go and invade them himself. However, Nulis in trouble.
Ooh, really pushed up, forced to pop her Purification, and against this mid-jungle, it's all about the CC, it's all about the control, about baiting out relics, and to have that down this early, it's dangerous, because now you see Arkkyl hit 4, Murrdurr sitting 4, they'll probably hit 5, and we'll likely see Murrdurr rotate over into the mid lane before that Purification is back up. I would like to see Sanguine set up for a gank onto nulisa.
Nice little play from both the 2 support players there. You saw the flop in and the stun onto Jermain, and immediately when Dardez recognized that Arkkyl was going to come in for poke as well, used the disarm, just make sure he could make sure that Arkkyl couldn't continue pressuring.
Now, Jermain is lower health right now, but Arkkyl has already burned through all his potions. Both have gone for the same start. It's Death's Toll straight into the Devourer's Gauntlets Tier 1. They want to get that lifesteal online early. Both are looking to get an ever so slightly. This is what actually becomes really critical in the dual lane as
Further Weevil from WorldEdit going to make sure Cherryo can't get that taunt off onto Nulisa, seem to be the target there.
That should be. She has no Purification. They know that timer right now. Still 100 seconds. You have a minute and a half to gank Nulisa, and unless she reacts with her ult immediately, you should be able to set up the kill.
But ganking Nulisa is one of the hardest things in the SPL
She
to
doesn't
do.
die.
She has one of the lowest deaths of all the mid laners in that position. She's very good at getting out of dangerous situations.
There's a little bit of a question about that, right? Is that her playing a really well-styled defensive mid laner, or is that sometimes she's dipping too early? And I think it's a little bit of both. Obviously, hard to lock down. She can bait you real deep if you try and overcommit onto her, but sometimes she exits fights, I think, that she can still make an impact in.
right-hand side. You saw the invade coming out from Sanguine there onto that speed buff, and now Cherryo hoping we see MoGoW actually rotate around for his blue, but instead with MoGoW looking to base here.
This timing, though.
This blue could be free.
Absolutely perfect. MoGoW obviously does have teleport up, hasn't been used just yet. He's still hanging around, and look at this, a rotation to the left side Harpies by Elevate. They have no interest in defending that blue buff. Erlang, Shen, and MoGoW are just going to have to hold it.
Now, we didn't mention this at the start of the game, but should Elevate have looked at invading the speed buff of Athena and Nika at the start of this game? That combo is not the strongest at clear, especially when he didn't go for the Wrath in the jungle.
It's possible, but it does come down to being a little bit risky. Instead, just play it safe. If you feel confident in your composition and it's not worth the risk, just don't bother, really.
Nika's at level 7 now, especially after that blue buff being taken down. MoGoW a little bit behind at the moment. Actually going to deny Nika back in there by just a stutter step more than anything else.
Pretty even early on right now. Obviously, Cherryo and DarkDodo doing a great job with CC chaining in the mid lane in the first couple minutes, able to steal away some back Harpies, but they weren't able to defend their own or get it either, so not able to make any real opportunities happen.
MoGoW going to get his taunt off a little bit quicker than Cherryo, and Athena evil potential for WorldEdit, but good taunt from Cherryo will cancel that. Nika going in, going to stun MoGoW, the don't connects, but there's Athena evil in response, and now Nika's out of position, low on mana as well, looking to juke out and find his dash again, but MoGoW will get first blood, and nulisa just in case threw out that ultimate.
That was actually really well played from both teams. So what you immediately saw was Cherryo get a little bit worried about the Hunbat's ult, so he channeled his ultimate on Nika as Nika was using dazzling offense as well, meaning both were CC immune. And the ability for WorldEdit to hold his ult there, because in a lot of situations, he easily could have just popped it right when he had caught Athena, but he just waited. He waited. He got the Athena ult. CC immunity was useless for both of them at the end of it, and then they were able to pick up the kill.
And now they're looking for Cherryo again, or at least the blue buff. That crit coming through nicely to help out. Nika trying to defend this one up against risky. 4 right now. WorldEdit though focusing towards Cherryo. Has to purify away as now the rotation from the supports and mid laners is still going.
MoGoW's still there though. That is some greed. They stole the blue buff and his team was retreating, and he walked straight into 4. That was just greed.
Erlang Shen overall, as a warrior, isn't one of the tankiest versions of this. His escapability, a little bit limited, still gets hit by slows during the turtle form as well. The turtle shield that you get from the transformations isn't that much of health.
At least not in the early game, obviously. If he has his ultimate online, he has a lot of options, especially once he's level 20 and it's maxed out. Huge shield, but early game, it's just a little bit, it had been baited out in lane as well, and that was just kind of a miscommunication from MoGoW and the rest of his team there. And MoGoW actually, typically, we saw him play this yesterday.
Aggressive.
Very aggressive, and going for a build style that was very damage-oriented. We saw Chin Size, Executioner come out, but right now, starting off with this Breastplate of Valor.
Well, aggression onto Dardez there. We'll get stunned, and Murrdurr's a little bit too far forward there. We'll intoxicate to buy some time. Wow. Fear no evil, and Murrdurr's dead. Space and time fired too, but Nika's there for the turnaround. Looking for Dardez, who leaps over the final stun. Still going to fall down here. Well, Dardez, though, supports are both down, and Dodo's out of mana.
Oh, it's going to be trouble for him. He's going to be jumped down, surrounded by 3. nulisa picks up the kill, and now it's trouble for Nika as well. The knock up straight into the portal. He's pretty tanky, but very low health, very low mana.
The wrong way.
He's using the speed aura, but he's just going to basically out-juke himself, and the kill goes to WorldEdit. A little bit of an overcommitment from Sanguine.
Bit too far forward there. Didn't see Arkkyl rotate around the back. Does get away, but it cost him his purification as well. 6 kills so far in this game in 7 minutes, and it is going the way of Elevate this game after it was Sanguine that tried the initiations.
Jermain did get that last mid-harpy there, but Arkkyl getting the better end of him, but the issue is he stayed way too long.
nulisa with the body box going through that portal really helped out, and Arkyl's trying to try and punish her for it. He will, but it'll be a 1-for-1 trade. Arkkyl is the master of getting a kill when he gets ganked.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 1v2 yesterday against Big Man Tings and Suntouch, and now a 1 versus 3 somehow trades out there. Really good job from him, juking into the Gold Fury. I think nulisa had pulled it on accident and took a little bit of extra damage, maybe not intended. If she doesn't pull the Gold Fury, if she doesn't take a swing from it, likely lives. Jermain was on point. I believe he had all 3 shots.
Well, we were talking about aggression from nulisa, normally very defensive, but you saw her go through that portal aggressively to make sure she could cut off an option from Arkkyl. Very well played.
Maybe this is her kind of switching up her style. I think Elevate took a lot of time. Now, this is me assuming, but I was talking to nulisa and Elevate. They said they didn't really prepare, but nulisa, especially after how many close games they had yesterday, said that she wanted to prepare for today. She was going to be studying picks and bans, and I think they did. This is a really well-drafted composition from Elevate.
And the fact is, they knew this Athena was a thing because of the fact the other two teams in this
Just
group
banned
had
it.
banned it against Sanguine. Elevate, they were like, no, you take that Athena, and we'll beat the crap out of it. And they're doing that right now.
And Athena actually going for the Celestial Legion Helm. We're starting to see this more and more. I don't think we saw it at all day one. Maybe one pickup, but day two, we've already seen it 3 times now. Once again, when you get crit, you're going to be immune to crits for a couple seconds, get a big boost in power. It's got a ton of protections on it, nice magical power as well. It's just a really well-rounded item.
Power's the big thing, though, because as a jungler, you want a little bit of damage, even if you're playing a Guardian here to make it worthwhile. They're not even in mid-lane from WorldEdit, though. And the space and time was used as well by nulisa, and immediately Elevate will fall back.
That was a TP, though, coming in from the soul, and you can see Nika still here, trying to pick Dardez off, but no one from Sanguine is in position.
I love Dardez's cam. Look at Dardez's cam. He's just so chill, sat back, and
he doesn't
he
care.
aggressed on him, and he just raised his eyebrows like, really?
I mean,
okay.
Oh, actually, Gold Fury started by Sanguine here. They feel very confident. Nulisa's ult and WorldEdit's ults are down, so no fear, no evil here to make an impact.
MoGoW is in first of all, though, and MoGoW gets focused. Turtle will not save him now. There's a Fury channel from Arkkyl to pick up Dardez, too, who had no time to ult. Jermain, though, with those hot snipes.
That is not common from him. Missing the first 2. Third one's not even going to kill anyone, and now he's caught between 4. The ants go marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah. I got to give credit to Tom for that call. Just one at a time, they all walked in, and it was a great fight from Elevate. The first person to walk in was, I believe, MoGoW. 5 players use all their abilities, and before their abilities are even done channeling in a lot of cases, we actually see Jermain walk in and then get picked up, or Dardez walk in and get picked up as well.
And WorldEdit is being stopped back in over and over again by Cherryo here. He's just chasing him through the jungle. The problem is Nulisa's now here. Gonna get a bit of damage off with that double taunt, and they could both die for this one as well. MoGoW will come to the rescue as Nulisa gets reported, but now it's MoGoW versus the world.
He wants this kill.
He really wants Cherry.
Oh, it's going to be impossible, but he does get the taunt. Cherryo's going to make it out, but Dodo might not be able to. MoGoW picks up the kill. Nika's still around. He has his movement speed aura, so very fast, but he's getting body blocked and chain CC'd so well.
Space and time! Not going to hit Cherryo, so close from downtown. That would have connected. That could have spelled doom for Sanguine, although they could look for the tier 1 tower here.
Tier 1 tower. MoGoW's like, I'm going to just chase Nika back, make him take even longer. Because of that, now they have a couple extra seconds to siege this tower, but Cherryo's already backed. Nice use of his ultimate there, using the ultimate to get to Nika to make sure to defend that tower if Dardez and MoGoW had wanted to siege it.
A little bit messy from both teams after the goal
Sloppy,
period, though.
for
I mean,
sure.
we saw Cherryo chasing WorldEdit through the jungle. WorldEdit does fall, but then, you know, the turnaround from Elevate is the potential there. The respawn's coming through, so we see a massive conundrum in the jungle that doesn't really go either way.
7-6, and that Gold Fury for Sanguine going to find themselves 1,200 ahead. You could see before that, Elevate had about a 1K lead, but immediately swung back around. And neither team really has a lead. I mean, 1,300. It's like a 2 tier 1s. It's not that big of a deal. The question really comes to, does anyone have a power spike item? And we did just have Doom Orb finished by Nulisa.
So she will be able to build up the stacks that are already sat at around 16 to 18 right now as she swings back towards that mid lane. And Janus, very, very useful. Cooldown boots as well, though, she's gone for here.
Surprising. We've seen a lot of penetration boots, which combines incredibly well with the Doom Orb, just the massive amount of power, cheap power you get from Doom Orb. And then instead, people go to the Chronos Pendant. They feel like the 20% CDR is enough, but I mean, 30% CDR is better.
Well, back at it again is Cherryo with his Sunder in the jungle. He's been going to this a lot. We saw it on the Cabrakan earlier on. Now, it does help out the team as a whole, not just the individual.
It is going to be reduced attack speed on the person he targets. Probably going to be looking for Jermain primarily. Useful against MoGoW as well, who likes to weave in a lot of basic attacks and is not building. He's not building as aggressive as he was yesterday, though. No executioner, no chins just yet. Breastplate of Valor going straight into the Spellbound Kusari as well.
And to be fair, if you throw that Sunder onto somebody and don't even engage, you do force them to second guess going in, because you are a lot squishier than you want it to be.
I think I liked it more on the Cabrakan, though, since Cabrakan has so much damage that you can actually just one-shot carries with it. Yeah. Sometimes even tear through frontliners. On Athena, it's more of this setup god who's looking to set up Dodo and Arkkyl to find the kills.
The big key there. If he gets a Spirit Ball after a Sunder connects, good night, sweet prince. That's what you're expecting there for whoever that is. The hammer again from Dardez on the mark.
That's been Dardez's key to this game.
Look at his face
far.
again. I love how chill he plays Dardez on the camera.
Oh, look at him now.
Slightly just left to the side. This is an easy game, easy life, man. Like I just threw a hammer.
He just he just looks like he never cares.
He does though.
He does.
He
really
plays
does.
To win. A hammer again, Cherryo. Get out of my face, son. Just
How many
stop
times?
it.
That's like, we just saw it 2 times in a row, but I've seen that 3 other times this game so far.
But it's also
really
like,
on point.
Cherryo's like, listen, I've got low ping, guys. I can get this taunt off. And Dardez like, I've got low ping too, bro. It's okay.
I'm not gonna miss it. But right now, Sanguine is pressuring Elevate. You can see left-hand side, Arkkyl gonna 1v1 Jermain.
Jermain forced to the sky, not gonna find the snipes, and immediately drop for the farm. More often than not, but Cherryo finally gets Dardez.
He missed the hammer.
He missed the hammer.
I wonder if he actually did miss the hammer and that was the reason.
Maybe it's on cooldown.
It's possible.
Because don't forget, Cherryo's wasn't on cooldown because he's never got the taunt off.
That's true. No purification picked up for Dardez, and Sanguine are looking to abuse that.
Gonna look for nulisa there, who stepped forward. She was very aware. That's her best credit to her. He's realizing when she's getting aggressed on more than anything else. But Nika on the left.
Nika, you're on the left. You're on the wrong side of the map, and now taking a lot of damage. That Fear No Evil pushing him under tower. He's got the movement speed aura. Himself and Arkkyl are going to be able to use that. Get away from the team. Elevate not really going to be able to chase them. They don't have that ability. If nulisa had ulted forward and like through the jungle, maybe it's possible, but it was used to rotate the team over there to begin with.
Well, only 40 minutes in. The speed buff is up on the right-hand side here for Sanguine to look to steal away from Elevate, and that's where Cherryo is. Dardez coming back to defend, and the rotation is coming from Elevate too. Dardez did manage to defend that by the looks of it.
Just barely. But it looks like they're not looking for that. They want to go on Cherryo instead, and he immediately ults away. Quick reaction time from him.
WorldEdit a little bit unfortunate there because you actually saw him throw the monkey out, but it hit the fire giant too, so he couldn't teleport to it. Jermain, no ultimate available here, only has purification, and with a flop coming in, it won't matter. The teleport from MoGoW too late to stop
Staying a little bit too far ahead there, and that's surprising considering I think Arkkyl has been outboxing him. Obviously on this Anhur, he's got file completed, has his boots, but Jermain pushing up regardless, just gets caught. No wards on the left side of the map for Elevate, outside of one on the top of Gold Fury. That's not going to be enough. You can't be pushed up without that vision.
And Nika already making these very quick rotations at 14 minutes into the duo side and pressuring there over and over.
We haven't seen anyone in the soul lane in like 3 minutes. Cherryo is now there just trying to get farm. Cherryo is ahead of Nika in farm. That's not something you see too often. Typically, it's the solo laners who are the most farmed in the game if they're able to be left alone. But with so much action, so many rotations from both MoGoW and Nika, they haven't been able to stay ahead. And this actually puts the state of Warriors behind a little bit, because Warriors are almost need to be ahead because they fall off really hard late game in comparison to Guardians, outside of gods like Amaterasu.
Well, let's theorycraft this a little bit, right? Because if you've got the Amaterasu in the solo lane early game, she gets the level she needs to be impactful, right? You can then send the jungle Athena to solo lane to farm up herself.
And she can ult over.
She can ult over still. Hold that teleport on Nika to be able to go back and defend if he needs help.
WorldEdit actually trying to set up a kill here on the left, though. Arkkyl actually doesn't know. He wasn't sure. No one on the map. He was a little bit wary. But I think he read that something was going on there based on the positioning of Jermain in lane.
When Sanguine has a ward at the Gold Fury and nobody's showing on the map, somebody's getting ganked. That's generally what you expect, so everybody
here's what it was about. Nothing other than Jermain wasn't trying to fight him.
That's true.
Jermain was sitting in lane just like, yeah, come in. And that is if Jermain's not trying to fight you, then something fishy is going on.
And the Anhur versus Rama matchup, Anhur definitely has the edge in the early stages and in the jungle. Obviously, if you do go to the sky and get impaled on landing, it's going to cause you a lot of issues there. But Gold Fury started up by
Jermain's in the sky.
Purification force from WorldEdit already, and Jermain's early with those snipes means that's not going to help to defend the Gold Fury.
And it just poked Murrdurr as well. Doesn't even get on to more of a weaker target who's going to have a lot of trouble if they take that damage from the snipes. Murrdurr's just like laughing that off as the frontline Bacchus, level 13 right now. And all the levels are actually very close. Murrdurr being equal to most of the carries on the side of Elevate is huge. Having those extra protections and help just from your base scaling is so good.
Well, Cherryo's really looking to set this up. Circle protection drop. This is a commit from Sanguine. It's a good commit too. They'll get it. Dardez now goes in. Space and time fired early off. Meanwhile, WorldEdit tries to come around the corner, but WorldEdit a lot of free poke. He gets the Fear No Evil off and jumps out. So does Arkkyl on the backside of that as Dardez is trying to pick up Murrdurr. Murrdur's the only man left alone.
Sanguine just way too tanky. And look at this. WorldEdit's still hanging around. Cherryo gonna ult back into this fight, but MoGoW's been able to chase Arkkyl into the jungle. Perfect impale, perfect pillow. Arkkyl gets out. Murrdurr is trapped under his tier 2 in the left, and MoGoW still fighting in the jungle. Maybe a little bit of an overcommitment, but he has a nice portal from nulisa.
He will get out, but Jermain will not get out. Jermain ran in to support MoGoW as he got disengaged from nulisa, and so the communication errors from Elevate there come back to haunt them.
It's what we saw yesterday. MoGoW's fine. That was cheeky, though.
He wasn't going to fight the kill.
He was
man.
fine.
Come
No,
on.
it was just cheeky. Nice spirit ball from Dodo. But again, the problems we saw yesterday are arising once again. The miscommunication. MoGoW gets a portal out. Jermain goes in to help him, and now Jermain's left alone. The portal's on cooldown because nulisa used it to bail the Erlang Shen out, and then there's just nothing you can do. Overcommitment, miscommunication, people on different calls, and this comes down to them actually having 0 shot caller. This is a fact. They don't have a shot caller. We've talked to them.
And we're getting to the mid game again, and this is where they start to struggle. 4K gold lead now for Sanguine. It goes back to the 2 Gold Furies more than anything else, because before that point, Elevate were the ones in the lead.
4K experience as well. You're starting to see big differences come through. Mostly looking at the Hunters. Jermain, who is kind of the guy that you need to go off if you're Elevate. If you're not focusing on being an objective-minded team with a shot caller that knows how to rotate across the map, you just got to have the people who are going to outplay opponents in the smaller fights. It's the same thing we saw against Orbit. In the small fights, 2v2s, 3v3s, they could just outplay Orbit. Once it came down to be more tactical engagements, 5-on-5, people surrounding Gold Furies, that's where they really faltered. And I love what Sanguine are doing. And that's actually, I think, why we're seeing Nika rotate so much, because Sanguine know Elevate's biggest weaknesses is the big fights where it becomes way more about intelligence and preparation.
Well, Nika gets his blue buff on that right-hand side, and MoGoW will go and get his own at the same time. Only real pressure we'll probably see is around the mid lane here now, with the Gold Fury being down, and the way Jermain is playing very passive in this lane now after how the early game has gone.
He is 0-3-2 as a Ram. Now, obviously, once he gets level 20 in full build, it's going to be great, but he's an entire item behind right now compared to Arkkyl, and Arkkyl has shown that he is not hesitant. Like, he will take the fight to you.
Love the deep wards coming out from Cherryo here in the jungle. Just keep an eye on rotations, and now they can look to pressure MoGoW potentially here on this tier 1 side on the right-hand side. Talking about pressure, though, it's Arkkyl under pressure.
Oh, and actually, Cherryo going to be ulting as well. Arkkyl holding everything for now, trying to jump over the wall, but Jermain's in the sky. First shot, second shot secures the kill. Cherryo left alone. Nulisa's ultimate to close the gap there does intercept the dash from Cherryo, but
Dardez
not in a position to fight.
Though. Caught out of position, forced to ult a little bit there. Now being pressured in the sprint pop to try and disengage, but Nika's having none of that. We'll get the stun on Dardez. Spirit Ball coming through too. Circle of protection dropped, and still Dardez is alive, but not for long. MoGoW couldn't do much there, and now he's up against 3 under a tower with no rotation.
He's got no ult, but he is very tanky. Nice turtle as well, and none of his team is coming to help him. This is just him trying to stay alive as much as possible. You can see the split push coming through from Elevate in the meantime. Jermain's already got a tier 1. They're working on a tier 2 as well. MoGoW does fall, but that was a lot of time bought for Elevate to split push.
Great play from MoGoW. Like,
why are they backing?
Great play from
They
MoGoW.
can't defend that tower. They just need to split push.
Tier 2. WorldEdit's on his way. Jermain has decided to stay for the left-hand side here, and Sanguine will trade tier 2 for tier 2 across the map. Which one's better? Different situations.
Here's the thing. Obviously, Elevate are now starting to knock down the towers, but when you're behind, even trades are always better for you, because you're in a situation where you're now getting later into the game, and that gold lead means less and less.
The Phoenix on the left-hand side more important than the one on the right. However, the one on the right gives you positional advantage to defend the Fire Giant as well, so it's a bit of to and fro with this one.
And there's no Phoenix just yet. Obviously, you've exposed the Phoenixes, which is very important, because we've seen a lot of situations with Elevate specifically where they will wipe a team, they'll win a fight, but they don't have Phoenixes to take because they weren't able to successfully siege towers earlier in the game. Once those Phoenixes are exposed, Elevate just need to win a big fight in the mid game or late game and then pile in.
Still anyone's game, this one. The Gold Fury about to spawn again, though. 30 seconds-ish for that one. However, Sanguine all around the Fire Giant and actually being for a fight, looking for Dardez. Space and time modified. Dardez in trouble still. Going to use his ult defensively. WorldEdit took a lot more poke than he wanted to, though, and Murrdurr's going to go straight towards Jermain to keep him busy. Dardez will actually stay standing as MoGoW picks up Arkkyl. Spirit Ball from Dodo, though, picks up Dardez. Hunter for support.
1 for 1. This is in favor of Elevate, and they're still pushing forward. MoGoW on the front line trying to disrupt Cherryo. WorldEdit has made his way back in, but I don't know if this is going to be an easy siege for Elevate. They're still going to try. There's a lot of CC on the side of Sanguine, even without ultimates. And you can see Nika hanging around, and Elevate are a little bit too timid. Cherryo ulting in on top of Isis as well.
They could be looking for the Gold Fury.
They should have done that
at the moment. I don't think they've recognized it just yet. Instead, they will get the red, though, which gives them something. But Jermain going to the right is isolated him away from the team, and the Gold Fury will stand.
I mean, the Gold Fury could be complete. There's no wards for Sanguine on the left-hand side. MoGoW and nulisa probably could have completed it already. This is really surprising.
Was it the time of the biggest issue for them, though? They don't recognize it? I guess they should have by that point.
Maybe. I mean, it comes down to just having no cohesive shot caller. Like, even if Sanguine like, look at this. The Gold Fury is still up, and no one on Sanguine is on the map. You should at least, at that point, pull it, and if they come, you can make a decision. Okay, let's commit to this, let's bait a fight, or let's just back off. but like, there's an uncontested Gold Fury. All of Sanguine was back in Fountain. That just can't happen if you want to perform at LAN. If you want to make it to Super Regionals, if you want to be a top 2 in Group A, you need to force those opportunities, and this is where we're really seeing Elevate lacking.
That's kind of where the ward situation was for both teams, though. Neither of them had wards around the Gold Fury to know if the other team had spotted that one out. Nobody had Gold Fury control whatsoever. Sanguine's back was very unconventional, unexpected from my point of view, and Elevate not going for that, just don't think they realized they had an opportunity to capitalize.
But that's what you need to do at this high of a level, is you need to find out what opportunities you have and then make a decision on if you want to take that or not.
Well,
now Sanguine is going to get it uncontested as Elevate are on the wrong side of the map, thinking Sanguine is looking to contest Fire Giant. Elevate just look lost. They have no idea what's happening right now. They have no idea about the flow of this game.
Well, that's just over a 5k gold lead now for Sanguine. The tier 1 tower in the mid lane is down for Elevate too, which makes it very tricky for Elevate to defend this right-hand side of the map, especially after losing the right-hand side towers as well.
This has been brutal for Elevate. That last fight in the mid was the best opportunity they had because Sanguine committed so much of their CC onto Dardez, who was able to pop his ultimate, along with the Fear No Evil on top of that. They were able to pick up the positive kills, but they weren't able to chase out a couple of members who had got very low, and then they didn't take the opportunity to try and force the Gold Fury.
Jermain just got hit by a huge Spirit Ball that forces Purification. Fear No Evil though from WorldEdit. Defense in new space and time hit 3! And the snipe's coming through onto Dodo. Dodo will still stay standing though, but he's still under pressure as round the back come Elevate.
MoGoW's already taken out one. Dardez pops his ultimate, and WorldEdit's got to get out. Nika chasing him off to the side. Jermain ripping through the rest of the team though. And Nika, he doesn't know what he wants to do. He didn't know if he wanted to commit or go back and peel. And Elevate have already picked
Cherryo
up
trying
2.
to buy himself time to ult out, but it won't be the case. nulisa picks it up, and nulisa was the impact in that fight for Elevate. They turn straight to the Fire Giant, but there's still 2 members of Sanguine. The tanks trying to slow them down.
Oh, Nika got knocked up and then shredded as well. Overhand smash. WorldEdit comes up with the kill. We're dead even in those right now. Murrdurr, the last alive. One more hit, and it's going to be a deicide for Elevate and a free, uncontested FG on top of it.
And that whole fight comes all the way back to the initial engagement. Jermain got hit by a Spirit Ball. He rolls away. WorldEdit's Fear No Evil, not the greatest, but this through space and time from nulisa
connected on a 2
members, and one of them was Dodo, who was forced out by the snipes from Jermain.
And Dodo didn't expect to be dove so hard by that. He got shredded, and you saw him pop his ultimate. That actually saved him. The second shot from Jermain's ultimate would have secured the kill, but gets just a slight heal, enough to put him in healthy territory, but then he's just on full retreat the whole time. Sanguine didn't know how to respond. They had already burned most of their cooldowns at the start of that engagement onto Jermain, and then just the chase potential and the loop around potential from WorldEdit as well, just kind of coming around top and picking up those last couple members.
This is Group A as well. Remember that this is just one weekend. We have 4 weekends of groups. B, C, and D still to come. The first showing from Europe here is showing that it's not all cut and dry as people expected. I mean, everyone expected it would be OrbitGG just to walk away. Not the case.
I thought how these groups would play out was that they got more dangerous the later we got. A was the easiest, B was a little bit harder, C was like really going to be tricky for Energy and Obey. Cyclone GG looking fantastic. A lot of people have good words. And then obviously the group of death, right? Some of the top North American teams and even those bottom ones that were able to get back up. But A is proving that that is not the case.
Well, let's find out if Elevate can actually get their comms together here and look as a team to siege up and win this game. They have the Fire Giant on all 5 members now. They take the tier 1 in mid. The only tower left standing is a tier 2 in this mid lane.
So WorldEdit's had some really great ults. A lot of that kind of because Sanguine took the fights in awkward spots in the jungle, but he hasn't been able to commit. We see him actually getting poked out really fast, and if WorldEdit can actually stay in a fight and do damage, like,
Turn on to 3 targets pulled in, boom goes the dynamite. WorldEdit's already dead. Dodo gets credit for that kill, as now Dardez on the backside is trying to keep them busy, but he got poked down a lot as well. Space and time used by nulisa to reposition, but while this is going on, Sanguine are winning the fight against the Fire Giant team. Jermain will pick up 2 though.
He's already found 2 here, and he's going to roll forward. He's going to look for Arkkyl. 1 versus 3, switching over to Nika, and he finds it. Triple kill coming out for Jermain. Still fighting. It's going to be a quadra for Jermain, and he wants it all.
But he can't go into the tower. nulisa will tank for him. Run, Jermain, run. He's looking for the penta. Will he get it? Mom, get the camera. Jermain got a penta kill.
All 5 kills coming up for Elevate. Jermain playing it big, going straight into the Phoenix, and Elevate are showing they're not going to be walked over this tournament.
Phoenix gonna go down in mid lane. Elevator here to play, boys. Yes, day one was their first day, and the giggles are back for Jermain.
VEL, VEL, VEL. If you know anything about Jermain and Dardez, is that they will laugh in your face anytime, and he is not even stopping.
Look at him. His face is down on the camera now. He's sniggering to himself a little bit like, all right, play it cool, play it cool.
Yeah, it's the Zap Man, right? Where it's like you make the hot play on the stream, you're like, yeah, I just do that normally.
Yeah, 28 minutes in now. Middle Phoenix down. A great fight from Sanguine, though. Let's just give them credit to that. They managed to defend at the tier 2, but Jermain just came up huge.
So the start of that is WorldEdit is actually in a terrible spot. He is up close. His purification were on cooldown for, I think, another 10 to 20 seconds. And I don't know if Cherryo knew that, but he dashes forward, catches WorldEdit. WorldEdit can't even respond. He's killed before the CC ends, but Jermain was able to take to the sky. 2 players got low. He picked up a double.
Mid onto Dodo, but good defense from Murrdurr. Through space and time will delete the Dark Dodo from the mid lane once more. In goes Dardez again with a good stun to the back on Arkkyl. Jermain positioned nicely with nulisa flanking to the left as well. Elevate pushing on mid, but this Phoenix is down. They're looking for picks more than the objectives.
And they have Fafnir. The AoE course is going to be huge. They're going to shred through these towers. And Phoenix is already, it's down to under half. Second Phoenix for Elevate going to be picked off. 1 Phoenix remains, but they're going to play it safe. They're only ahead 6K. They still have, Fire Giant has just fallen off of them. They do not want to have any risk. They feel very confident right now, I think.
Who do we give credit to for Elevate, though? I mean, obviously, Jermain's the one that got the pentakill, but the team as a whole is playing so much better all of a sudden.
I mean, Nulisa. This has probably been Nulisa's best game I've ever seen from her in competitive play. Just the snipes have been on point. We're also just her positioning. Like, a lot of times, we mentioned it early, like, she's out of fights very early. She is full committing with her team this time.
She's going in first and then disengaging.
I didn't even know. She's top damage. She actually has the lowest average damage of any mid laner, I believe, or it's very close.
For the most part, the issue I always had was that her positioning was always in, do a little bit of damage, and then retreat for the whole fight. Yeah. This time, though, initiating, waiting a second, initiating again, she's leading the team.
I feel like she's just being proactive. I feel like she kind of came into this a little bit timid. Even Taco was talking about that she had some land jitters from yesterday, but she seems so much more confident, and that's the whole of Elevate. They still are not shot calling at all. They're still lost, but if you're trying to take fights against any team, you don't want to take them against Elevate.
Well, I'll tell you what right now, faith in the French is the call, if you know what I'm talking about from the old days of Le Myrmidons, because if you've gone for the pick here, you're on the money right now. Sanguine defeated Dignitas yesterday. Sanguine looking to lose this game to Elevate, and Elevate will find their first win in this group.
Dignitas took a split against Orbit as well. Elevate looking much better. Sanguine looking really good. Obviously, this game is going well for them, but I think Orbit's thanking their lucky stars that they had a really good start.
Yeah.
Because these teams are only going to get better the rest of this day, and tomorrow's going to be absolute hell.
Well, it's not over just yet, because Sanguine Cherryo got a very good taunt off in the last tier 2 defense as a 5-man team.
Once again,
if you can do that again, you're looking at the carries.
15 seconds on WorldEdit's purification. He can't put himself in the same spot, and Nika's already initiating. Cherryo on top, looking for this down, and they found WorldEdit. No purification, but they didn't know it.
nulisa at the back, and Jermain being left alone. MoGoW taking the brunt of the damage for his team. Space and time hit Arkkyl, and snipes from Jermain are available. He gets one. Is he looking for more again? The snipe absorbed by the Sanctuary.
Over the wall?
Looking for the Phoenix is Jermain. I'll tell a lie.
Look at how deep WorldEdit is.
Kill. TheDarkDodo will get it. Looking for the triple kill. Jermain will get it. Looking for the quadra. Not this time, though. Calm down. Calm down.
If this was online stages, Jermain is diving the fountain with his team, but they're playing it safe right now, trying to defend its Murrdurr, but it's 5 players of Elevate. It took them.
That's not a Penta, boy. Calm down. No.
He is still loving it.
2 in 1 game. Calm it down.
It took Elevate 6 games to find a win. It took Jermain to have a Penta, but Elevate do come out on top. And if you thought this group was going to be a one-sided affair with Orbit and Dignitas, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
What a great performance from those boys in the screen. They were very happy, boys and girls, I should say. I always forget about that. But yeah, I mean, those boys, though, Sanguine, very disappointed with that, I think, especially after day 1.
Especially how well they played. Obviously, they had got demolished by Orbit. Really heartbreaking losses, but they brushed it off. We saw Nika very boisterous, very happy, even when he was sitting down talking to his team in the post. And then they went and they found the 2-0 afterwards against Dignitas. Now, this might be more heartbreaking than just getting stomped. Being that
True.
far ahead and then just
Very
having a comeback from a pentakill from Jermain, it's rough.
Well, Group A, still ongoing. We've already got a pentakill. Let's see what the analyst desk has to say. Tom, talk to us.
That's honestly what I have to say. Laughing along the way with Jermain. I give him 1.5 pentas for that one. I think that last one, you got to give the shouts. But no, on a serious note, guys, Elevate, bring it. And really, we talked a lot about different points to be looking at for Elevate, and I think all of those points were hit during that match.
I think Elevate did a great job playing their comp to their strengths because Sanguine, you could tell, we're definitely going for that utility setup, especially putting the Athena into the jungle. It complemented really nicely with the few damage carries that they had with the Isis and Anhur. But I honestly think that the disorientation from the Humbats ult was just too much for Sanguine to handle,
Yeah.
and it was well played by WorldEdit. nulisa did an excellent job following up and getting her team in there with her Janus ults, and then obviously Jermain, came out swinging.
I mean, the stats certainly tell the tale. I mean, when you look at the player damage, just 30,000 more on the side of Elevate. You know, it's not always about the player damage that brings it home, but sometimes when there's just too little on the side, specifically with Sanguine, just wasn't really able to do it.
Like you were mentioning, it was WorldEdit's ultimate that got everyone so low to allow Jermain to clean up in these teamfights. This was the first pentakill for him. It began really easily for Sanguine. They got the early pickoff, but because of how low everyone from Sanguine got, Jermain was just easily able to clean up here.
Yeah, just wonderful attention to detail coming out from Jermain. And honestly, this right here, that's the highlight reel material, just the snap accuracy.
Yeah, that Marbles gameplay by Jermain, it came up big. As soon as he hit the first snipe onto the box and secured that kill, and then followed it up so quickly, hitting the second and third shot on Rama, that really got the ball rolling for Elevate here. And as you can see, as he cleans up for his pentakill, I mean, they were able to secure T2 off of this. They were able to secure the Phoenix, and overall, that just gave them such a momentum swing for their Hunter to get a pentakill online. It's such a hype moment for the team, and so demoralizing to Sanguine, and they definitely followed through with it.
One of the big things that I really think is very important is the supporting staff around Jermain there. You saw nulisa provide a lot of the utility with the slowdown, the threshold, and then, of course, coming out with the portal, just allowing Jermain to do what he does. And I think this could be a turning point for nulisa. A lot of us have been talking on and off camera about how we haven't really seen all of what nulisa could really bring to the table.
She was playing a little bit too far back at some of the games yesterday specifically, but after the pentakill from Jermain, it forced nulisa to play more forward to try to assist him to get that fourth kill, get that fifth important kill to allow the rest of the team to really put themselves in a confident position. So now, moving forward in this set and maybe the future sets, she should be playing more forward and trying to look for those plays. She also had a really nice snipe earlier on.
Yeah, there's a lot there. Like I said, a lot of people have been talking about how strong she is, and we've only seen a glimmer of that. I think that, and hopefully that play right there will be enough to really bring her up towards the front.